Okay, doke. Well, welcome everyone. Um, welcome. You okay? Welcome everybody. I want to again thank all of our partners who are standing with us today. I'm not going to introduce everybody that's up here. Those people that have been asked to speak will introduce themselves as we go forward. But suffice it to say that you have standing here a great partnership between federal, state, and local authorities on the executive and the legislative branches of government. Our council is with us as well as a number of senators and state representatives. So I thank them for coming. Our entire city council is on task and on time and working with us. So let me begin by just saying to the people of New Orleans and to the people of the state and to the nation that we all recognize the irony that today is the 7th anniversary of Katrina. For those of us that live here, this brings back very painful memories. Our lives in this area of the country are defined by before Katrina and after Katrina. We lost 1,836 family members, mothers and fathers, sisters and brothers, aunts and uncles, cousins, during that period of time. It has forever scarred our lives, changed our lives, and has redirected the way we do many, many, many things. And so it is a great irony that Isaac, which was not invited and unwelcome and has stayed too long, continues to cause devastation on the entire Gulf Coast of the United States of America. I want to, again, begin by thanking President Obama. We had a telephone conference call with him today with the governors of Alabama, Mississippi, and Louisiana. Secretary Napolitano was on the call. Craig Fugate, who is the head of FEMA, was on the call, but his boots are actually on the ground in Louisiana, as is General Peabody, who is the head of the Corps of Engineers for this region of the country, who works directly with Colonel Fleming that oversees the levee system here. It was a very good call. The President, again, committed his complete and total support of his administration. I have to say they've been fantastic from the beginning. They've been embedded with us. We continue to work. And as all of you have seen, the City of New Orleans has worked really closely with Governor Jindal and his team as well. I've told you that Paul Rainwater is embedded with us and is actually, and I'll tell you a little bit more about this, on a mission as we speak. Also, we want our thoughts and prayers to go out to our brothers and sisters in Braithwaite. Those individuals have had their houses flooded. 118 people were rescued. For the rest of the nation, Braithwaite is about 20 miles from New Orleans. That levee was a local levee, not a federal levee. And the individuals involved were outside of the levee protection system that the people of America invested in. That was a $10 billion investment. Based on all the information that we have available to us today, that system is operating as designed and is holding up fine. And there is, based on what I know, and Colonel Fleming can address this later, not at risk of failure. And so we feel very good about that. Having said that, anytime that your home gets flooded, a Category 1 turns into a Category 5 very quickly. And so we understand that, and our thoughts and our prayers go out to them. Those pictures reflect back on a lot of things that happened in the city of New Orleans, but that is not the city of New Orleans. And sometimes, especially the national media, has a challenge with geography, so I thought I'd just help you out with that just a bit. So where are we now as it relates to the city of New Orleans, metropolitan area, but particularly inside the levee system in New Orleans? We are very much in this fight of Hurricane Isaac. We are still under hurricane warnings with a flash flood, and tornado watches remain in effect. Currently, the winds are at approximately 50 miles per hour and ongoing. The storm surge is 5 to 8 feet on the lake. And unfortunately, the storm just won't seem to leave us. So, you know, some storms move by very quickly and cause a lot of damage shortly. Other storms that seem to be less powerful stick around for a long time, and their continual pounding can actually cause more damage. And I believe we're beginning to see the effects of that across all of Louisiana. In the city of New Orleans, I would just like to say that now is not the time to let your guard down. You have to stay hunkered down, and you have to stay inside, and you have to stay on task. I think that's really important. I urge you to be very, very patient and to remain inside and behind doors. I have enunciated on a number of different occasions the dangers that can occur if you go outside, not the least of which is getting in the way of emergency personnel that are responding to some very, very serious requests. On top of that, this storm seems to want to go slower rather than faster, and we have good reason to believe, because of the power outages and because of the perseverance of the storm, that we may be in this fight for a while. And so we'll see how that goes. Entergy will make some comments about that system. We have come into information just recently that have caused me two major areas of concern. One of them is that we are getting reports that Maxim Canal, which borders Village de l'Est, this is in New Orleans East, is very close to the top. We haven't seen overtopping yet, but again, I've dispatched a number of different personnel out there, and I've asked Paul Rainwater, as well as the governor, to go out and take a look at that and to report back to us. I don't have as much information about it yet. When I get it, I will give you more, but we'll have an update for you shortly. We also have an issue that we are dealing with at this very moment. Because our water drainage and sewer systems are operating on backup power for much of New Orleans, there has not been enough power to clear sewage out of the system. We are in the process of assessing that as we speak. We're getting information coming in. We are working right now to balance that power. In the meantime, I'm just going to ask you to minimize the flushing of the toilets and try to accommodate us in that regard. We hope to have an update shortly, but both of these issues occurred just in the last hour. Those are indications that when a storm stays around for a long time, no matter what size the storm is, duration will stress the system. Just like water continuing to beat on a roof that was otherwise fine, the beating over time can cause it to stress. And I think that we're going to begin to see that if this storm hangs around a long time. We'll continue to try to update you on those measures so we can act accordingly. As I said yesterday from a security personnel, and I'll have the chief address this as well as the colonel, we have approximately 2,900 emergency operation personnel on the ground. The NOPD is all hands on deck. Every officer from NOPD has been accounted for and has reported to duty during this emergency to protect and serve the citizens of New Orleans. We have, as I told you, 1,000 National Guardsmen on the ground. The National Guard are deployed citywide in every district to supplement the uniform patrol. The city is secure, and law and order is the ruling of the day. To that end, NOPD has made 4 arrests of individuals suspected of looting earlier in the day. In the 7600 block of Trapier, we observed fleeing suspects. They gave chase and made 2 apprehensions. The victims have been had evacuated residents due to the storm. 7th and Daniel interrupted a burglary in progress at a business that had been closed due to the storm. They have looting, I want to tell you, and the DA is here as well to address this issue, carries a mandatory sentence of 3 years at hard labor. And let me be clear, we're going to have a zero tolerance for lawlessness during this emergency, and to make sure that this city is secure. In that regard, we are going to join with Jefferson Parish that just decided to institute a curfew. Now that this storm is going to be with us for some time and is going to begin to stress the system, we have to make sure that the streets are clear and safe. And so today it's going to begin. It'll be a curfew from dusk to dawn, and it will stay in effect until otherwise notified. As it relates to the levees, the flood protection system in and around New Orleans is holding strong. It's operating as it was designed. We have no reason to believe that that system will be compromised. This $10 billion investment is protecting the city, but that does not mean that we will not have some interior flooding. We've talked a lot about this, but if the rain stays over us for a long period of time and the pumping stations get over capacity, we're going to have some street flooding. We continue to receive reports from the citizens on 311 that what we expected has actually happened. We are trying to get some awareness on how widespread it is. As it relates to power loss, our most recent numbers show us that 75% of the residents in Orleans Parish are without power. That is about 159,000 customers. I know we're thinking in terms of New Orleans right here, but if you just add Jefferson Parish to that and then you add the metropolitan area, that's a very, very large number. I don't have the exact number here, but I think it's around 550,000 in the state of Louisiana. So we'll ask Entergy to address those issues. It's very hard to get out in the wind right now, but as soon as that happens, our teams will be out there looking for it. The New Orleans Fire Department is all hands on deck. In the last 24 hours, the Fire Department has responded to 158 calls for service. They have responded to 4 working fires, all in dwellings. One alarm was at 1420 Toledano Street. It was caused by electrical. One alarm at 4525 Music Street by candle. One alarm 2421 Murray Street. The origin of it is suspicious and is under investigation. And a one alarm at 5801 Memphis Street is electrical. Again, we urge our residents to use fire safety. Use common sense with your candles. Don't put them by windows or curtains, and properly ventilate your generators. Again, the longer the delay and power's out for a long time, the longer the stress on the system, because there's a greater chance for human error. So again, I'm just going to ask everybody to double down on what it is that they're doing to keep themselves safe. In terms of other responses, NOLA 311 has fielded 10,000 citizens' calls since Monday. In the last 24 hours, EMS has responded to 156 calls for service. Public Safety has removed 5 vehicles on the I-10 and removed other vehicles that were parked on the levees. Remember, I said you could park on the neutral ground. A neutral ground is not a levee. I'll try to be more specific next time. A street, yeah. A neutral ground is not a levee. Park and Parkways has received 50 emergency requests, responded to 12 calls, and will continue to do so until conditions prevent that kind of response. So the assessment of damage. Our Emergency Operations Center has been closely monitoring the impacts of the storm. We are frequently posting update reports of street flooding, down trees, and street light issues on our website. We have received, and I thank you for calling in to report where there are impassable streets, the 311. That's a great thing for us. Thank you. NOLA.ready.gov is the listing of where we have the streets that are impaired and all the other information that I've just given you. I'm sorry. Ready.NOLA.gov. These reports will be confirmed and responded to by emergency personnel once wind speeds are below 30 miles per hour. Our agencies are getting updates on wind speeds every 15 minutes, and I can tell you my folks are chomping at the bit to get out there, and they can't go until it's safe. We have a deployment plan in place to assess this city block by block. Our agencies and emergency personnel are prepared to perform a windshield survey as soon as practicable, and we will use that information to then provide a deployment plan for cleanup. Be advised, you will see emergency personnel with lights and sirens activated as they perform this assessment, so that you're aware of who they are and where they are. So I want to thank you for your time and your attention. I'll come back up after the other people have spoken to close out. And with that, I'd like to call up Deputy Mayor Sneed. Is he with us? All right. Who is our Director of Homeland Security and Deputy Mayor for Public Safety.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Emergency Operations Center continues to monitor, direct, guide, and maneuver forces where needed. I ask, the citizens are doing a great job in letting us know what's going on through our 911 and our 311. The only thing I would ask is be specific. Give us detailed information about what you're talking about. You know your communities better than some of our operators do, and when you talk to generalities, it makes it a little more difficult. So if you have street cross sections or numbers, it definitely helps us so we know exactly what you're talking about, so that we can dispatch units to give us an eyes on to where we know exactly how to handle the situation. Again, things are working well. Very, very proud of the team up there. They're doing a great job. Thank you
very much. Commander Thibodeau.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Louisiana National Guard is in the city of New Orleans, as well as the rest of the state, in full force. Our 1,000 soldiers are actively engaged. We've increased our presence at the request of Chief Surpass on the streets in support of New Orleans Police Department. And as the city's requirements increase, we're going to increase our soldiers and our resolve to be a part of this team and ensure we're here this all the way through the end. We're the home team here. A lot of us are from this area, and we have a vested interest in making sure that that we across the whole state support the agencies, both state, federal, and local. So we'll be here through the long haul.
Thank you very much, Chief.
Thank you, Colonel Mayor. I'm glad to report to you that every single member of the New Orleans Police Department is accounted for. They have been working nonstop for the last 24-plus hours. They've been reporting to their assignments, and when they couldn't get to their first assignment, they went to another assignment. So we're very satisfied with the department's response. Make sure there's a very clear message here. We are not seeing a lot of people on the streets, and we appreciate that. It makes us able to do our job. our police department has responded to very few looting incidents, very few, but every single one we've responded to, we've made an arrest. So we fully support the idea of a dusk to dawn curfew now because situations have changed. The storm is staying with us, and we need people to give us the help by staying inside. You don't need to be outside. Let us do our job, and every single time we're going to make an arrest and hold somebody accountable. The district attorney and I, Mr. Cannizzaro, have been in constant communication. The state of Louisiana has a very significant looting statute. It is a significant statute with significant penalties, and everybody who is arrested in these few events are being charged to the fullest extent of the law with a complete and full police investigation. Know this, if you choose to loot, and we will arrest you, you're looking at a 3-year minimum prison sentence, no waiving of that sentence, and a minimum of $5,000 fine. And we will find you, we will arrest you, and there is a zero tolerance for that behavior. So please observe the dusk to dawn curfew so that your police department and our National Guard support can be in the neighborhoods to do the things we need to do to continue to keep your property and your person safe.
Thank you very much. Chief Parent, Fire Department.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Our troops have been extremely busy last night. We had 4 working fires, but the troops, I'm so very proud of them. They hit it hard, they hit it fast, and they stopped it from progressing to other buildings. But as the mayor said, this is a incident of long duration. Now it's time when people start losing their focus, they get tired, they get fatigued, and this is when accidents happen. We ask everybody to be cautious. There was a lot of limbs and trees down in the city. If you don't know how to use a chainsaw, don't use it. If you do know how to use it safely. I know a lot of people are going to be tempted to get on their roofs to repair leaks. This is not the time to do it. We still have some severe gusts of wind on the roof. Get a professional to do it later on. And a lot of people are using their cars for their cell phones and air conditioning. Make sure you don't use it in an enclosed garage or close to a door that the carbon monoxide can get into your house. We've done very good so far. Let's keep up the good work.
Thank you very much. Chief Elder, Emergency Medical Services.
Overnight, we continue to respond to calls throughout most of the evening. We had to shorten our response for just a few hours. We're back on the streets. We're responding to calls now. We did almost 100 calls just last night. Again, just a reminder, everybody stay safe, stay in your home, stay hunkered down for now. And for true emergencies, dial 911. For all other non-emergent needs, 311 is the number to call.
That'd be great. Thank you. Sheriff Guzman and DA Cannizzaro.
Thank you, Mayor. We are fully operational at OPP, fully staffed. We've had no incidents. We are operating on generator power, but everything is going good. Intake is open. Thanks.
Thank you. DA, we talked about intake.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As you heard from the Chief and Colonel Thibodeau, there is a law enforcement presence on the streets of the city of New Orleans. I am also here to report that in the District Attorney's Office, we have been in court. We have had assistants assigned to the courts or to the central lockup to deal with those individuals who have been booked and who have been taken off the streets by the police department. It is also significant to note that because of the power outages, many times we are not able to get a complete rap sheet with regard to the individual who is brought to the central lockup. I have already instructed my assistants that we are going to err on the side of caution. If we do not know and err on the side of public safety, if we do not have a complete rap sheet, then we will assume that this is a bad actor. We have to assume that because this is an individual who is out on the street under these circumstances and he is attempting to do something to harm someone who is either evacuated and in one case where the person was actually in their home. So we are going to request high bonds and try to prevent someone from sort of easily getting out of the system. As the Chief also said, during a state of emergency, penalties are heightened, especially with regard to the looting statute. It is normally a penalty for which someone could receive a suspended sentence or be placed on probation. But because the event occurs during a state of emergency, which we are presently experiencing, there is a mandatory minimum sentence of 3 years. So we are ready, and I hope that many of the individuals who decide to who don't have, I guess, enough sense to stay out of the rain will at least not go out and hurt other individuals. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
I'll make it really simple. If you loot, you get in an orange suit. Everybody ought to be able to understand that really clearly. Marcia, would you come tell us about the Surge and Water Board?
We have nearly 300 team members working to provide water services for the citizens of New Orleans. As the mayor said, we do have a slight problem currently with the wastewater collection system. We ask you to minimize flushing. We have boots on the ground, team members in the field as we solve this problem, and we will report back to you as soon as the solution is accomplished.
Thank you. Mr. Rice, can you tell us? Charles Rice, Entergy.
Good afternoon. Charles Rice, President, Entergy New Orleans. I want the citizens to know that we are preparing for restoration. Once the weather allows, we will begin our damage assessments. This is a slow-moving storm, so I ask you to be patient. We've requested an additional 6,000 resources in addition to the 4,000 previously requested. We have 10,000 resources from 24 states. Some of these resources are already within the city limits and awaiting notification to proceed. But again, please be patient. Once the weather allows, our scouts will go out and do a damage assessment. Once we've determined the level of damage, we will then deploy our troops. I know there are a lot of down power lines out there in the city of New Orleans. I would ask, please stay away from down power lines. I was watching the news earlier today. There was a reporter from Channel 4 standing near a down power line. We actually called the station or tried to get a hold of the station to ask the person to move away from the line. Down lines are very serious. If you encounter a down line, water is now a conductor. You will suffer a fatal injury. Again, please stay away from the down lines.
On that note, now thank you. You know, one of the issues has always been the federal levies. There has been some confusion, especially in the national media. So again, I want to clear this up. The people of the United States of America invested $10 billion plus some to rebuild the federal levees that broke during Katrina. Those levees are designed to protect the nation's energy security and economic security. Those levees are not at risk and they're not at threat. It's a $10 billion investment. We have 310 miles of it. Colonel Fleming is here to speak specifically to those issues, and I will just to put a highlight on what Charles said. We've been watching the TV as well. We're watching all the reporters, trying to bring the news to the public, which is a very important thing. But we would just to tell the reporters, don't put yourselves in harm's way either. Be very, very careful as we move through this storm, because you are just susceptible as everybody else. We would hate to see a difficult situation there. So if I could call up Colonel Ed Fleming, and after that he'll call up Deputy Mayor Grant.
Thank you, Mayor. I have been out around the system this morning inspecting the system. And as the mayor said, the system is in good shape. The system has not been challenged. We've been tested, but we are not reporting any deficiencies anywhere across the risk reduction system that we've done here post-Katrina. I agree with the mayor. Our thoughts and prayers are out to the folks down at Braithwaite. I have been in touch with Plaquemines Parish, and we will try to give them any technical assistance, advice, and guidance that we can give them to the folks in Plaquemines Parish. There was some discussion earlier today about the outfall canal, one of the outfall canals, 17th Street Canal. We did have a glitch in the system, and look, when you're in a night fight like we are in, there's going to be some ups and some downs, and there's going to be some temporary outages. The computer system where we can operate some of these pumps and motors remotely went down. Some brave folks went out in the storm and had to operate some of these things manually. We got them back online. At lowest capacity, we're at about 80% at 17th Street Canal. We're back up online, and we're working very closely with our partners in New Orleans, the Surge and Water Board, and Jefferson Parish to make sure that those things don't happen anymore.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr.
Cedric
Mayor.
Grant, who's our Deputy Mayor for Infrastructure.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just like the citizens of New Orleans, the city of New Orleans is suffering. We've suffered public damage to public buildings all over town, and we'll continue to shore those up. Some of those are the First District Police Station, police headquarters is on generator power and has some broken windows, and we're going to fix those around town. We have about 20 streets that we know of that have street flooding. Those are on the website, as the mayor has indicated. As long as the pumping system is working, we feel that we're going to catch up to that, and we'll see it in bands, but for the most part, there are some places to avoid throughout town. We're now preparing for recovery operations and getting our people ready to go out and do assessments on our public buildings and facilities, and we'll be ready to start that as soon as the weather allows.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor Thomas, who's our Deputy Mayor of Operations. It's the same place Jim Lenton tripped yesterday. Right. Yeah, take that down.
We are aware of hundreds of trees and limbs that are down across the city. We have more than 200 personnel that are prepared to deploy as soon as the weather permits to do initial assessments and clearing. Once those initial assessments are done, we will have at our disposal as much personnel as will be required to remove all debris. Our order of priority are the most extremely hazardous situations. We'll triage those first and then move through the major corridors, and we'll continue until all debris is clear. Additionally, tomorrow, Thursday, there will be no residential trash pickup, including in the French Quarter, because we're concerned about the high winds overnight and wouldn't want to have residents put their garbage cans out tonight. Thank you.
Tim Duty, who is the head of the Southeast Flood Protection Authority.
As everyone's covered, there's no overtopping of the system, the levee protection system, the exterior perimeter system. We are ready to implement our damage assessment once the threat is passed, and developing our plans for reopening once we have that assessment.
Tim, thank you very much. Also, Senator Landrieu has boots on the ground, as Senator Vitta was here a little bit earlier today. We have been joined by a number of state representatives and state senators, and our council has been with us the entire time. Jackie, you want to come up and make a comment on behalf of the council?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and I just wanted to say, well, thank you to you and your team, and we're proud to be a part of it, and for all of the people out there to know that your 7 council people are all on duty 24/7 in different parts of this city. Not all here and not all there, but we're all everywhere. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, any questions? Again, generalized questions I'll take. If you have any specific questions for any particular discipline, you're free to direct them to those individuals.
Sir, can you tell us more about the looting incidents? How many incidents, how many arrests, where that happened? Over the last 24 hours, we had the first event yesterday in New Orleans East that resulted in an apprehension of 2 people. Last night, aggressive police officers at 7th and Daniil apprehended 4 people. A little while ago in the 7th District at the Dollar General store, I think in the 8500 block of Chef, we arrested 2 people. We had a 5th District incident at Piety Galvez, and we're waiting to hear the numbers of arrests there. And we had one incident just a few minutes ago at a Shell station on South Carrollton. As we've driven the city, I've been all over the city of New Orleans. People are staying in, and we appreciate that, and our officers are out working, and I appreciate the work they're doing. Let us do our job. Stay inside, please.
Well, first of all, we got word that it may be happening. So Paul Rainwater, who is the Governor's Commission of Administration, also a member of the National Guard that's embedded with us, and a number of members of our team have been sent out there. They're going out there to look at it. They'll report back to us what it is that they see. I'd prefer to wait until they come back. The words we were getting was the water was getting close to the top of, again, another local levee that's immediately adjacent to a neighborhood. And as soon as we get information, we will tell you about it. It is not the federal system. The federal levees are doing exactly what they were supposed to be doing. They're not close to being overtopped. They're not close to being compromised. And they are protecting everything that they were designed to protect.
Anybody else? Go ahead, Mike.
Hey, Mike.
Colonel, when are you going to know when the fight is over and that you've actually won, passed the test when it comes to the first 2 legs?
Well, we have a couple criteria. One is we're not going to go out and make any changes or any adjustments to any of the gates or any of the structures until tropical storm force winds have ceased. And 2, we want to make sure that there is no water, obviously, up against the system. So we won't open any gates or move anything until those 2 criteria are met. And then the third thing is there are triggers, just like there are triggers to close these structures, there are triggers as well to open them. So we don't want to be hasty. We know folks want to get back to work, want to get back to their house. Business needs to get back up and running, but we also need to be take the necessary precautions.
Are there still risks, or is it your view if you pass the test?
No, there are clearly still risks. as we stand here today, I can hear the wind blowing outside the window right here. You know, the East Bank really took the brunt of it yesterday, if I might say, as the winds were blowing out of the south and the southeast. Now as the storm has moved a little bit, fortunately or unfortunately, today's kind of the day for the West Bank side of the system. And so you'll start to see some of the surge increase out of Barataria Bay. You'll see it up the intercoastal. You'll see it over in the Lake Cotahuachi area. And that's the part of the system, again, that's just the way the storm moved, and that's the way the system rotates. So we're expecting large surges on the West Bank all the way till probably 1800 tonight.
Okay.
Probably for Colonel Fleming also. A lot of people are seeing pictures right now of Claflin Parish and the flooding that's going on down there. The fact that the federal levee system here is containing everything, keeping everything out, I'm just wondering, are those two things related in any way? The fact that you've secured the city of New Orleans, does that mean the water has nowhere else to go but Claflin Parish? Would it have been, and is there anything between those two?
Right. No, there's no correlation between what we saw in Braithwaite and the system that we have in Greater New Orleans. And I think at this time, our focus, we are in the middle of a fight. We've got Isaac that is almost over the top of us. We've still got tropical storm force winds. We got lots of rain coming in, and our focus right now is on the fight that we have at hand.